very good morning to you today. This is the trade or weekly forecast for week commencing the 25th of January. Hopefully going into next week. So hopefully there's a good couple of trade setups that we see. Predominantly we're going to cover some of the JPY pairs. I think we do see some upside potential, and also some pairs with regards to Euro and Gbp USD, and a bit of USD kind of JPY as well. So let's kind of get straight into it. So what we'll do is we'll start off on the big one. So Gbp kind of USD. So Gbp USD was a very interesting one this week. If you look on the 8-hour chart, so if we just mark out this high here, okay, this high was obviously a buying climax, and as you can see, this area here was capping the market to the upside. Okay, so resistance 1, resistance twice, resistance 3 times. We failed to break above, okay, this high here, and then we kind of closed back down into the range. So with that kind of being said, I do think for next week on Gbp USD, seeing as we've kind of got this range here, I do think we go back down to test the actual low of the range. Okay, so where are some of the kind of potential entries / profit targets for this particular pair? Well, we then go on to the hourly, the 4-hour chart. Okay, there's this kind of key resistance here, as you can see. This was capping the market. Okay, and I said it at the time, because the market didn't do like an aggressive bounce off that, I thought it was going to basically do this and close back into the range, which it obviously did. So if you look onto the hourly chart, okay, so we've got the higher the range marked, okay, which is obviously this initial red line here. What do you think we'll get early into next week is a test of this area here and a close, so it's essentially a sweep of these highs here and a close below to basically move down to take out these short-term stops here and here as well. So initially, during the start of the week, I'm actually quite bearish Gbp USD, but I don't think that's a significant enough play to the downside of this pair, and I do think we'll actually see a massive rally back up. So if we go into the 4-hour chart again, you can see this order block here, which is very key. Okay, so there's this order block here. So order block is essentially the last red candle, or it could be the last green candle, depending on if it's a buy or sell, before the major candle move up. So you can see we've got these short-term stops here, 1, and these short-term stops here, 2. So this red line hasn't been touched yet. If we go onto the 15-minute chart, we can actually see it much closer. So you can see the market hasn't actually touched it yet. As you can see, we've not touched that order block yet. So that order block is still in play. Okay, so with that kind of being said, as I said, I do think we will get a move into this and a move into this before then we then kind of rally back up to take out these highs and into this resistance area. We could then maybe potentially then move down like that, but for me, I'm looking for this kind of pattern here. So this has actually been a very good pair to actually play the range on. So yeah, a lot of kind of key levels have been touched. So that's Gbp kind of USD. Yeah, so that's kind of Gbp USD. And if you actually look on the daily as well, I mean, there's a very, very, very strong, bullish bias on this pair. So yeah, very, very strong bullish movement. So I don't ever actually kind of see this kind of going down. Okay, so let's go into some of the JPY pairs. JPY pairs are very, very interesting for next week. I've really kind of marked these out, so I won't kind of go over these again. But we have these flat lows here, okay, that have been taken by this sweep high, and now we've kind of made a move up. If you now look onto the hourly chart, on 8-hour chart, so we've got this order block here that hasn't actually been touched yet, and we've also got these flat highs here. Okay, so this order block and these flat highs give us some context with regards to potentially where price could go. So if we kind of zoom in a bit more, so we'll then go on to the hourly chart. You can see this area here was the breakout, okay, which hasn't been touched. We've also got these flat lows here. So what I'm expecting is a spike down into this, a quick spike down, an impulsive spike down, then we move back up to take out the highs. It's really, really important that you just don't take positions like this blindly. It has to be an impulsive move. So whenever you're looking at kind of areas for significant areas for price, right? If the market creaks into that area, now I've learned this from experience, if it creaks into that area like this, really, really slowly, don't touch it, right? Because for me, what it likely suggests is the market that will make a kind of lower low. What you want to see is impulsive moves, right? So when I say by impulse, I'm talking about really quick moves into it and a bounce and then a move higher. Or if it's to the upside, a move into the upside resistance and then a move lower. You do not want to trade significant areas of price when there's not like a massive move into it. So take that note. So this is kind of what I'm looking for on AUDJPY. I want to see a sweep of these lows, an impulsive move into this, and then a move much higher to take out these flat highs here. Okay. So AUD USD. Again, if you look on the daily, the 8-hour chart, we have this buying climax here, i.e. the top of the breakout area, and we've got these flat lows that haven't been touched yet. So people who have been long will place their lows, place their stops at the most logical lows, and obviously these are the most kind of logical lows to the downside. So I think what we'll see is a spike down into this, or what I want to see, a spike down into this purple area, move back up, take out the flat highs. Okay, so Eurgbp. Eurgbp is a really, really interesting one actually. I really, really like this trade for next week. Really, really seeing a lot of euro strength next week. So if you look on the weekly, okay, if you look on the weekly, we have this low here, buying climax, capping the market to the downside. Okay, so we tested it once, we broke through, again bounced, and then we swang fell, okay, that key low, and now we've kind of moved back into the range. Obviously this top of this, the top of this is the top of the range, the bottom of this is the bottom of the range. Okay, so now that we have that concept in mind, okay, on the weekly, so we've taken out the stops here, 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 and here. We now go into the daily. What more do we actually see? Well, you've got this buying climax here, this key one, which was obviously acting as resistance, and you know it was acting as resistance because look at these kind of thin rejections. Okay, market failed to close above it, and then when it did, it significantly broke out. So this tells you that this area here is a significant area for price. Okay, So now that we've got that context in play, we've now got to look at, okay, what's been happening kind of more recently on GBP USD. So that area that we mentioned as a buying climax to the left has now become support, and you can tell it's support because of these kind of thin rejections to the downside. So let me just explain that a bit more. The market has obviously tried to push the market down or force the market down, but obviously the buyers have kind of rejected it kind of multiple times. Okay, what does retail do when they start seeing a break of significant lows? Okay, or just normal breakout traders? That's exactly it. They start selling that low, right? And actually what that's doing is that's trapping people. So I think this is a genuine bear trap. Okay, so it gives me a bias to the long side, right, to the upside for GBP, so Euro GBP. And if you also kind of look at what's happening on the daily, on the hourly time frames, so let's start off on the 8 hour. Okay, you've got these flat highs that haven't been taken. Let's go on the hourly. These flat highs that haven't been taken, and these flat highs that also haven't been taken. So now we have this big deviation, this bottoming pattern. This area was clearly a key area for support. Okay, what I want to see on Monday from this pair is this. If we look on the daily, the top of this red is clearly an order block. It's support, yeah. And we've also got, so we've got major support here. We've broken through. We've yet to test it yet. We've got this support area here. Okay, this top of this order block, which I've marked in red. Okay, so it tells me there's a lot of support in this area. We then look on the hourly. Where do we want to see price aim for? Well, people who are long this market, who have been long here, they're going to place their stops here. The short-term stops are here, right? So with that kind of context in mind, so we've got a big kind of support area, we've got flat stops, we've got the market kind of rejecting off previous kind of resistance areas, and now we're almost kind of creating this basin of price. I want to see this on Monday. A spike into this, take out these flat stops here, and a breakout, hold, and then a move to take out these flat highs here. Okay, so let's just zoom out a bit just so you see that. This would be my target. So I think this is about a 200 pip move. Okay, if we get a close back below this level, a daily close, then I'll probably be looking to sell this, right? But if we can hold above this key level here, then for me, I think we target these flat highs. Okay, and if we can hold above that, then I think we then target these highs here at the top of the range. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for in Euro GBP. NZDJPY, couple of interesting plays here. If we look on the 4-hour chart, okay, we've got this order block here. Okay, we've also got this order block here. Okay, so maybe we can get something like this and move into these flat highs just as a short-term target. I think that's about 100 pips, and then actually maybe higher into this as well. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at on NZDJPY. NZDJPY again. So we're seeing all these kind of JPY pairs, and it kind of looks like JPY is actually going to be quite bullish for next week. Okay, so NZDJPY, can see. Support, deviation. Okay, now that area became support again. Okay, now we've rallied back up, so that gives me a bias to the upside for NZDJPY. So where are our potential kind of profit targets? Well, if you look on the 4-hour chart, you've got this buying climax here, which was capping the market to the upside. So resistance once, resistance twice. We've also got flat lows once and twice. So these are essentially flat lows. So what I want to see again is an impulsive move into this, and then to take out these flat highs initially, which is about, I think, 100 pip move. Okay, and then last but not least, USDJPY. In fact, let me not cover USDJPY. Let me leave this for now, because I was actually going to say I thought we'd kind of bounce off this order block and then we rally higher, but we literally closed on it, so I don't actually know what it's going to do on a Sunday, so I'll probably just leave it. But yeah, those are the trades that I'm looking at this week. I think overall, to summarize, pretty much bullish a lot of the JPY pairs, and also to a certain extent bullish some of the dollar pairs as well. But let's see how we get on next week, and yeah, happy trading.